After the introduction of new economic policy in 1991, the private players having vital role in economy as well as in polity. Post-liberalization era created an atmosphere to enter foreign players and companies to enter Indian economy. Increased corporations gained money power and hence tried to control Indian politics also. Nexus of business and political parties changed the socio-economic scenario of the country. The corporates, to achieve their company's goal and to capture the market, attempts to use their political network, which resulted in n number of scams and so-called corporate crimes. Corporate criminals or white-collar criminals manipulated their power and cheated the nation at large. And its direct impact it will be on poor and general public. These corporates become liability rather than becoming an asset to our country. Today we have a lecture on the corporate criminality and the victims by Dr. Sibichen K Mathew, Commissioner of Income Tax, Chennai. I have great privilege and pleasure to introduce Dr. Sibichen Mathew to this august gathering. Dr. Sibichen Mathew belongs to the 1992 batch of Indian Revenue Service. Working as a Commissioner of Income Tax, earlier, Sir worked as advisor to Telecom Authorities of India in charge of Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra and Goa region for 4 years. Dr. Mathew post-graduated in Management and Public Policy from IIM Bengaluru with A grade. He has doctoral degree in Fiscal Sociology and Public Finance from Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, LLB from Karnataka State Law University and Certified Fraud Examiner from ACFE, Texas. Sir has completed a course in International Public Policy in Syracuse University, United States. Completed course in Corporate Taxation and Advocacy Skills from Duke University, United States. Specialized training completed in area of cybercrimes, money laundering and capital markets from various institutes in India. Sir has received Director General's Gold Medal from National Police Academy during the Civil Service Foundational course. Dr. Mathew received the Gold Medal from Director General, National Academy Direct Taxes for performance in extracurricular activity. He is a recipient of UGC Research Scholarship. Sir has received award from Central Board of Direct Taxes, New Delhi, consecutively for last 4 years for outstanding contribution, which is a rare honor. Dr. Mathew is a recipient of Vocational Excellence Award by Rotary Club, Coimbatore, and is a recipient of Triple Crown Award and Distinguished Toastmasters Award from the Toastmasters International. Sir has published 2 books. The first one, Making People Pay, The Economic Sociology of Taxation, was released by the Governor of Karnataka. The book has been reprinted thrice. And the recent book, When the Boss is Wrong, has become the bestseller, and the book has been reprinted 7 times. Sir has published 7 research papers also. Sir is a visiting associate to IIM Bangalore. He is a reviewer of working papers of IIM and evaluator of dissertations of universities, resource person and trainer for corporates, public sector undertakings, management institutions, and various other academic institutions. And he is a life member of Indian Sociological Society. Sir has been in so many positions. Sir is a past president, IIM Bangalore Orators Club. Sir, past president, IRS Officers Association, Karnataka and Goa states. Sir has worked as a past area director, Toastmasters International, District 92. Sir has been involved in so many social activities. He formed IRS Social Responsibility Forum with a team of IRS officers, supported government schools to create infrastructure and given educational and career guidance to the students from the financially weaker sections. Dr. Mathew scripted and directed 3 short films on various social causes. Dr. Sibichen Mathew has associated with us since 2010 and he has been delivering lectures, at least 1 lecture in Gokhale Institute of Public Affairs since 2010. To name a few, Life in the Tax World, Scams and Frauds, Who Will Watch the Watchdog, Right to Privacy in a Snooping World, Alone in a Networked World, Remonetization, The Journey and the Impact, The White Collar Criminality, and so on. We have great privilege to have you here, sir. Once again, I welcome you to this august gathering. On behalf of the institution, I welcome you, sir. Thank you. Yes, it will come.
F5. But it will screen. F5. Full screen is there. Okay, now this will come. It will come. Going back is this.
Very good evening to my dear friends from Gokhale Institute of Public Affairs. I'm very happy to be here, friends, again. Very proud to be here. 10th time somebody is invited to the same institute. I'm deeply, very greatly honored and privileged. I always felt whenever I came to Gokhale Institute that there are a few people in our community, in our society, who are very inquisitive to share their point of view, to listen to some messages, to understand what is happening around us from various speakers. And as I said earlier, I am yet to see, or I am yet to know about any institute like this, which conducts sessions like this every evening, 365 days. Very rarely we see academic institutes like this working exclusively for the community around the institute, inviting the public to listen to lectures and talks, concerts, workshops, sermons. Very rare. And Sunday evening, I never expected the hall to be full like this. So when I came around, I think 6:16 or 6:17. When I was entering, I found the hall empty. I went inside. I asked Ramu, what's happened? Normally I used to come on a weekday. First time I'm coming on a Sunday. I think the hall is empty. Ramu said, sir, this World Cup match. Maybe some match may be there today. Oh, then I thought then nobody will be coming today for the session. And that too on corporate criminality and all. Who is interested? How does it matter to me? No? Corporate crime. Let them do crime and let them vanish. How does it matter to me? No? So I thought maybe the members of Gokhale Institute and the public around here not interested in this topic. But within 7 minutes, see, the hall is full. That's the punctuality we see in Gokhale Institute. So 6:30 he came inside. Sir, we'll start. I said, why? The hall is empty. Ramu said, Gokhale Institute has a tradition. 6:30 means not 6:31. It's 6:30. Whether people are there in the audience or not, we will start. That was my experience also last 9 occasions when I came. Always it was like that. We start always on time. I'm so happy to be here and so happy to give this big introduction. There's nothing wrong in praising something which is very unique, no? My subject is not unique. The subject matter which I'm going to give you is not unique. The content is not very unique. You can get it in the internet. You can get to see the books and read newspapers and you get the same content. There is nothing new I'm going to talk about today. But I should not miss speaking about you. The institute which is very unique, exemplary, worth emulating across the globe. I don't want to miss that. And today I've come with my wife, Dr. Vanitha Mathew. She is a senior consultant in dermatology in Bengaluru. So why I brought her, she has not come for any of my earlier lectures. She kept hearing about Gokhale Institute. I keep talking about Gokhale Institute. She said, let's see what, is he really going to Gokhale Institute? She thought, I'll go and check up today. You get dressed very well and go, like this once in a year in July. What is happening? And sometimes he comes with some jasmine flowers. They give jasmine flowers here. So something wrong. I should go and check it up. I said, okay, you come. This time you come. Come with me. Another thing, we celebrate our wedding anniversary recently. General wedding anniversary, I never considered very important. This time, I told many people we are having our wedding anniversary. It's a milestone wedding anniversary. I am not going to tell the year, then you will guess my age. And we had the milestone wedding anniversary, and then we told our friends, let's celebrate wedding anniversary. And I shared in my social media about wedding anniversary, our wedding photo. Dear friends, it was a surprise. Whenever I share some intellectual stuff like corporate criminality, nobody is going to comment or like, or nobody is interested. Not much. 30, 40 people will appreciate and congratulate and all those things. When I put my wedding photo, around 600 people appreciated. Then I realized, this is something big. Wedding, I never considered this wedding and married life something which is very important, no? Now I realized, maybe after so many years of married life, I also became mature. I told my wife, we deserve to celebrate. We have to celebrate this. It's not a joke completing so many years, married life these days, my dear friends. So, whatever we talk about, all intellectual stuff, still marriage and family, there is a sanctity around marriage and family. We do not know what will happen to the younger generation, what we are going to see. But at least we are happy and contented with our married life. So my wife, that's why my wife is a long introduction, because I have to give importance to my wife. That's very important for a happy married life, my dear friends. And some of my friends, most of the people of Gokhale Institute, I know, I am seeing the faces again and again, same faces. So happy to see again here to listen to my presentation today. I also see my friend Balaji there, Murali here, Mrs. Murali here, and Dr. Naga there, Wing Commander Dr. Naga. Thank you so much. Now the topic is corporate criminality and the victims. Let's start. What we are going to discuss today. When I talk about corporate criminality, please don't ask any questions saying that, why did you choose this? There is criminality everywhere and maximum crime is in government. Don't ask me. That we have discussed earlier. Today's topic is this. Why white-collar crimes are not viewed seriously? Is it possible to keep it on the podium? Yes. So that I need not look back always. The length is there. And what will you do with the money? We discuss about that. Not that we are having a lot of money, but we earn some money for our living. What we will do with that money? That's a very simple but complex question. Perils of investing in gold, bank deposits, real estate, Ponzi schemes, shares, mutual funds, cryptocurrency. Very quickly we will go through these things. Victims of industries and technology, we will go through that. The unholy nexus, I won't tell you what exactly is this, we'll come to that later. White-collar crime in other sectors. And analysis and a few suggestions. I'll make it very simple. The topic may be a little complex, but we'll talk in very, very simple terms, which all of us will understand. The first question will be why corporate crimes are not viewed seriously. Before that, let me tell you what is white-collar crime. If you want to tell you what white-collar crime, I have to distinguish it with blue-collar crime. Generally, crime like theft, etc., are considered as blue-collar crime. And white-collar crime, somebody who's, see my shirt, white-collar shirt. Most of us wear white-collar shirts. It's not with the color. What it implies is that crime which is committed by educated people holding positions of power, of influence, the high economic society or higher ladder, higher levels in the ladder, economic ladder or social ladder, whatever we call, they commit crime. That is called white-collar crime. It can be individual or corporates, individual or organizations. But the moment you talk about corporates or organization, every organization is a group of individuals. Ultimately, when you say a company has committed crime, it is not the company. Company is an artificial entity. The crime is committed by the key persons in the company. So ultimately, it is perpetrated by individuals, not the organization as such. Now, why corporate crimes are not viewed seriously? This is a question we are going to ask. This is somebody stealing money from somebody's purse or pickpocketing. Some thief comes in our house and taking jewelry. Or some violent crime happens on the road. We are all agitated immediately. It takes the headline of the newspaper. Some rape happens. Some big violence happen. All those are in the front line of the front page of newspapers, in the news headlines of the TV channels. But when something like this happens, there is not much sensation. We will understand that about Vijay Mallya's scam only after he left. He is in London or somewhere. Then we think about that after months or years. We think of Nirav Modi after months after he has left. Whereas these crimes are very sensitive crime. Those crimes are not much, we are not much interested in that crimes. If you think about the extent of damage for society, financial damage, which is more here? Which is more damaging? White-collar crime. Which is more damaging to society. It is against development, against progress. It creates a big dent in the economy compared to this. And this is done by powerful people, so we need more sensation about it. More people should be aware of it. More people should say, no, he has to be arrested. But none of us are interested about the second part. Now we will operationalize this concept or this topic today by taking some examples, by dividing this white-collar crime concept into different levels. How I'll be able to explain it in a very simple way? By connecting to our own daily lives. If I talk about how Nirav Modi did or Vijay Mallya did, we may not be able to immediately internalize it so easily. So I would like to simplify the entire gamut of white-collar crime and all those things by taking some small examples. Where is your money? All of us need money. From the barter system, at that time there was barter. From the moment the money has been in circulation, money became important for each one of us. Without money, we don't go even step out, either in the currency or in the card. We don't step out. Now, you generate some money through salary or business or through any source. What do we do with that money? We get monthly salary or monthly income, whatever. We won't exhaust that money in the same day or same week or same month. We have to keep some money for tomorrow. We live in a very uncertain world. Especially people in the third world countries, there is no social security, there is no assured pension, there is no assured insurance schemes. We are always live with the worry. I need money for tomorrow. If I get a heart attack, if I get an ailment, if I'm hospitalized, I need to have some savings. What about my children? Indians, we worry so much about children. Oh, what about my son and daughter? My daughter has to get married. I need money. My son, if he doesn't get a job, I have to find money for that. If son and daughter leave and without taking care of us, me and my wife, I need some pension. So money, we need to save. Little money we all try to save. How to save it? Where we will put the saving? So for time immemorial, historically what we used to do is this. Gold. Conventionally, we used to invest in gold. And gold as a metal or as an element is very much part and parcel of our Indian culture. No? Not only our ladies, in their families they keep family gold as a treasure, as a stock for emergency. For ladies of the house, it's a good security. Whenever they need money, they can just go, pledge it, and get money. So people start investing in jewelry. My mother, even today, if some money is required, immediately she go to the bank, pledge the jewelry, get her cash. So jewelry gives so much of security for people. And as a cultural symbol, when a child is born, I don't know whether it is in Karnataka, also it is in Kerala, it's like that they give gold with honey on the tongue. Then afterwards, in every custom in family, gold is part of it. Now gold is very much embedded in our cultural symbolism. Whatever ceremonies we have, gold is part of it. Now, dear friends, so people start investing in gold. Then slowly people came to know, many of you may not be even aware, we don't get pure gold. I don't know, these days I think some jewelers are getting lost, but I have not seen any jewelry person. Anybody, any jeweler here? I have not seen any jeweler down the shutters because of loss. Good trading, good trade. And the rumors came that the gold jewelry which you buy from the shop is not pure gold. Then they came with the 916 gold and they put all this 916 gold. Where are you going to test this 916 gold? They test and say you 916 gold, you buy, you take it. And the diamond. Diamond, who gives the value for diamond? Diamond value is fixed by the seller. If you take the same diamond to another shop, do you get the same value? Much, much, much less. And the diamond fellow who sells will say, if you give it to me, then I'll give the money back, again with some lot of depreciation. All over the world, still we don't know what is the real value of diamond. But the diamond has any value at all. Only value diamond has is a rare stone. So the value is a guesstimate by the person who's interested to sell it. So undercarrying of gold and adulteration in the value or whatever material of precious stones is very much rampant. So where to invest? Is it a good investment? Even if you have gold kept for the last 10 years, do you think that it's getting very good returns when you sell it right now? Your jewelry, if you go there, they'll say, making charges, this charges, that charges, they reduce the money. Then where's the profit? Then where do I invest? No, I need money. I need hard cash. Then what is the next thing? How much land does a man need? In 1886, Leo Tolstoy wrote a short story. This was the title of that story, short story. Tell me, how much land does a man need? Tell me. Difference? 6 feet. 6 feet. 6 by 3. 6 by 3. Okay. 40, 60. Yes. Yes. Now we have the hierarchy of needs. The primary need of every individual is food, shelter, and clothing. We are blessed by God to have food, reasonable food, clothing. And all of us and our children who are already on the job, they think next is shelter. I need an apartment. In Bengaluru city, population was 6.5 million in 2001, 9.9 million in 2011, and it is going to be 20 million by 2031. And everyone wants an apartment. I do not know you share the same experience which I am having. If I ask 10 people who have bought apartment or who are negotiating for apartment in Bengaluru city, 9 of them, they tell me that they got cheated by the builder or developer. That to literally fight with the builder. He promised for 2 years and he takes 7 years. He takes taken 7 years to complete it. He has not fulfilled all the promises. Not only in Bengaluru city, many cities in the country, we see this particular problem of real estate fraud which is happening. Title fraud, we do not know the title itself is clear or not. He will construct one extra floor on the top which is not passed through any licenses. And finally, to regularize that, who has to pay the money? We will pay the money. The other day there was a WhatsApp message circulated where about more than 100 builders in Bangalore, their names are written there. Please don't transact with them. It may be fake also. But what I'm saying is that we cannot trust most of the real estate developers. The other day, about a couple of months back in Cochin, Supreme Court ordered demolition of an apartment complex. Construction completed. People are staying for last six months to 1 year in that apartment complex. Now, on a petition filed, Supreme Court said, this is an illegal construction, demolish. Dear friends, think about the people who invested. Their hard-earned money, 50 lakhs, 75 lakhs, 1 crore for an apartment. Their hard-earned money, they've taken bank loans and invested in the apartment, believing that the developer has taken all the clearances. And one fine day, you see in the newspaper, or the TV channel that your apartment is going to get demolished. Dear friends, whom to blame? Whom to blame here? Now, okay, I think I have some money. Let me deposit in bank. Let me deposit in bank. But if you see the banking sector, the last several years, the sector is marred by so much of corruption, inefficiency, and due to disbursal of loans to large companies without having the due diligence, without taking collateral security, loans have been given to various companies who have defaulted the loan, and finally they will go with a begging bowl before whom? Before whom? Government. Please rescue us. Please save us. And most of the banks have thousands of shareholders. Shareholders who believed and invested in the shares of the company. There are people who deposit the hard-earned money to the bank when the bank is having a lot of NPA, non-performing assets, or stressed asset they call. The bank has to get profit. So what they will do, they increase the charges. If you see the last few months, or 2-3 years, the bank charges went up. Interest rates have come down. So if I invest my 1 lakh rupees saving in a bank, they say they give you over something 6.25% interest. 6.25 to 7.5 depending upon the bank and the term of FD. And out of that, how much will go for tax depending upon your tax bracket? It could be 10% to more than 30%. Tax will be cut. If you are in a 30% bracket, ultimately you get how much? Something around 4% interest. Do you think it is a good saving? So, how will I save money for my children? How will I save money for my retirement? Where will I put my money? I need to put somewhere. This is the problem. The paradox in banking sector. If I go for a loan, they ask for hundreds of conditions and demands and security. And some corporates go, everything is waived off. If I default my bank loan, the fellows will come next day to my doorsteps. There are people who committed suicide when they came with auctioning the only house. I'm not giving stories. I'm giving live examples. I don't want to name it. All of you know it. People have committed suicide when their only house bank official came to auction. There are middle class parents who collapsed in the bank premises when the student loans were denied by the bank officials for small reasons, frivolous reasons. Whereas a big corporate, the bank manager will go to the premises and negotiate and get the things done. And there are many banks aid in money laundering. I remember when banks were not in the electronic mode, people used to put the bank managers keep passbooks in the bank manager's room, all Benami accounts. Somebody goes with 1 crore rupees. Bank manager says, to avoid PAN, do one thing, 49,000 rupees multiplied by this many. We will open that many accounts. Ramasamy, Chinnasamy, Palanisamy, all names will be given by the bank manager himself, and he used to put all passbooks in his room. Now later on, now the electronic banking has come, still the frauds are happening in the banks. You take any bank, public sector bank or private sector bank, there are umpteen number of examples. I have statistics. I have clear statistics of all this. I don't want to tell you right now because there's no time for us. We have to have a broad perspective on my topic. We are not doing research here. Suspicious transaction report. Income tax department collects suspicious transaction report from the banks. If anybody put any money more than 10 lakhs in cash, or somebody's account there is no money, suddenly he's put 1 crore and taking after 3 days, it is reported by the banks to government. Many times, this reporting is also not done properly by the banks. So we have so many people who have enjoyed the banking facility bypassing all the rules and procedures. We never thought that the CEO of some banks which always we venerated as a corporate leader could be investigated by Enforcement Directorate. We never thought. No, anything can happen in this sector. Then I decide, instead of putting in bank, I will go for some more interest. Where will I go? I'll go for chit funds. I go for some sort of Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes. This photograph is from where? Anyone? Sharda scam, Calcutta. Lakhs of poor people invested in chit funds and Ponzi schemes, operated and promoted by big corporates with the support of politicians. All small people. And thousands of agents, they also paid deposit and became agents and collected money from the villagers. One fine moment, thousands of crores lost. Small people. So do you think white collar crime doesn't concern us? It is. Yes. It impacts ordinary people. What is this? You know it. Thousands of people lost money. And thousands of people, they lost the money, they're not telling it because what others will think. That is the biggest advantage of these people. Those middle class people who have invested money, lost the money, they will not tell outside. Because going to police station and filing a complaint is another complex exercise. What happened to, you have seen the photographs, daily it is coming in newspapers. I will tell you one thing, maybe the police department will do a good job in this case. Maybe, I do not know. But from my experience of researching Ponzi schemes, hundreds of Ponzi schemes I have researched. And I found 99.99% of cases, that means practically every case, investor has not got his money back from any other Ponzi scheme. If you invested about 5 lakhs, you may get some $1,000. Because ultimately, that is a property available for attachment by the authorities. Only when that is auctioned, you get money. Because they have already diverted the money abroad. They diverted money somewhere else. They put the Benami accounts, Benami names. They put the property. Then how can you attach the property? This thing? Before they leave, they ensure that no money is in their names, that owner, promoter's name. No asset is in their promoter's name. So from there, where will get attached? But in this case, I found police have started the investigation immediately. Let's see. Let's hope there may be something they get back. So then farmland. Many of people, please invest in farmland. Mango cultivation. Coffee cultivation, please invest. Thousands of people invested. Teak equity they call. Shares in teak plantation. You invest this much of money, 10,000 rupees you invest, you are getting 25 lakhs after 20 years. Here also I am not exaggerating. This is what they promise. 25 lakhs. There are many people, thousands of people invested. These are all represented by companies. I am not naming the companies here. These are not just labels here. Represented by companies. Cattle, Yemu, in the name of Yemu, in Chennai Beach, there was a big fraud. Cattle geese scam, 1,300 crore fraud happened. Cattle geese scam. What I'm narrating are all scams of last 4 or 5 years, not 10 years back. This cattle geese scam, a few years back. It's investigation going on now. Japan Life India, magnetic mattresses. It cure everything. 85,000 rupees you spent. So, here again the scam, you get 10 people. And each one of them will get another 10 people each. Multi-layer marketing. Finally, once the money comes, the promoters vanished. All of them vanished. This was very much active in area of Belgaum, Hubli area. The Pearl Agrotech scam, Northern India, story of a milkman who became a super con man. Dear friends, thousands of crores taken from the people. Now I think, okay, I cannot invest in Ponzi scheme, bank. Let me put some insurance. A lot of insurance schemes comes. Private insurance. They will tell you, sir, hospitalization, cashless, what they call payment, in a cashless discharge or whatever. The biggest deception in the insurance sector. I can give the example of my father-in-law. His hard-earned money, he invested in one insurance company. Premium, he is paid. Later on, he was hospitalized. Bill sent. They rejected. They said, no, this is not allowed. So they bring out conditions which are not part of the policy document. Even if it is in the policy document, nobody can understand what exactly is in the policy document. 62 insurance companies operating in India. Out of that, 54 are in private sector. Lengthy, complicated, jargon-filled document. Nobody can understand what exactly is this. And there is something called free look period. They won't tell about this. After first premium, or if you think, this is a huge fund outgo, I can't pay every year. They will tell you, you can't get any money back. Because your free look period is over. Nobody knows what is this free look period. They say, no, first this money period. This is a period where you can cancel it. You have not done it. No, you are not going to get back this money. Only after paying this much of premium, then only you can get back the money. Thousands of people have lost money. Increasing the premium. One of my friend in Chennai, he's a retired person. He's around 61 now. He tells me, he used to pay something about 19,000 as a premium for the medical insurance. The other day, he got a letter for the insurance company. This year, your premium is 55,000. 3 times. He went to the insurance company and asked. They said, yes, after this age, the risk is more. So this is the premium. But anything happens to even in between the premium, we are not going to pay anything. That fellow's got worried. If something happens to me, from where I'll get the money? He went to income tax insurance ombudsman. He couldn't get any relief. Finally, he just paid $55,000. Dear friends, what they say? You are under risky category. Your age is more. To a person who paid insurance for last 20 years. 20 years he paid insurance, he has not claimed anything. And now they say, you are in a risk period, so 3 times the insurance. SBI Life had created a magic in which the investment of a senior citizen over ₹50,000 after 5 years reduced to final payment of $248. So somebody invested in SBI Life Insurance. So they asked him, dear friend, see now why do you want to just get insurance alone? We will invest your money in some unit-linked scheme. You get minimum 14 to 16% interest rate. Oh, very good. 6% in bank. And Ponzi means money will go. Let me put in insurance scheme. And it's a published at SBI Life. He got how much? 248 rupees after 5 years. And that fellow went to court. There's a case, Dr. Virendra Pal Kapoor versus Union of India, High Court of Allahabad. They ruled in that petitioner's favor. But how many people can go to file a case for this? Don't you think this is a crime, people, friends? White collar crime by insurance companies? There are some youngsters and some of the seniors also are doing this now. The best thing is to go for everything is internet these days. No? Let us go for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. It has come just now to India. Dear friends, whatever scam which has happened all over the world, I was researching on this, and I found any scam happened in any advanced country, after a few years, it will happen in India also. And I have found out umpteen number of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency scams, people lost money, thousands and thousands of dollars in these scams. And now it is going to happen in this country very soon. And we find even businessmen, their black money, they invest in Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. Also, initial coin offerings. If you go to www.badcoin.org, you'll get any number of examples. Initial coin offerings, like public issue. There's initial coin offerings where people invest money. And whatever ICOs did abroad, most of them, they ran into problems and big scam happened, people lost money. Now people think, why not invest in mutual fund? How many of you invest in mutual fund here? Anyone? How many? About 10% people here? Yes. The mutual fund people are very unhappy. Why Indians are not trusting us? Why they are putting in FD? Why they are putting in all these Ponzi schemes? Please ask them to put in mutual fund. Dear friends, what is wrong with mutual fund? Please read the quotation. The mutual fund industry is now the world's largest skimming operation, a 7 trillion trough from which fund managers, bankers, and other insiders are steadily siphoning off an excessive slice of the nation's household, college, retirement savings. This is what said by Senator Fitzgerald, the chairman of the subcommittee, Mutual Funds, Trading Practices and Abuses that Harm Investors in United States Senate in 2003. 2003. So mutual funds, we never heard of mutual funds at that point of time in this country. Maybe very few people. So at that point of time, when it was very widespread in United States advanced economies, they found how much of money is being diverted by the scamsters through mutual funds. And same thing is going to happen or is happening in this country as well. Because a lot of our youngsters are putting in mutual funds. And what happened in all these things is that what is a scam here? Can you tell me in mutual fund? Balaji. How it is a fraud?
They take out your 10% in the beginning itself.
That is one aspect. Then little more serious aspect. Expenses will be inflated. That will be there. Okay, that's right. Then Murali, yes, you are right. Where they invest, mutual fund advisors are there, fund managers are there. They invest in the companies where they have some interest. They get some commission. So you blindly go to this particular bank, okay, put in mutual fund. And who is investing mutual fund? There are some agents, fund managers, or that facilitators, advisors who do that. And you don't have any control over them, where they're going to invest. And a lot of scams have happened abroad on this. And do you think Indians are very honest? It won't happen in this country, where there is no regulation. Regulations are there. It is lax. It is not implemented properly. It's not enforced properly. There are a lot of loopholes. It can happen any time in this country as well. Now, in all these things, what happens generally? We blame the victim. Why did he invest Didn't he go do the due diligence? Was he ignorant about all these things? Was he greedy? Was he foolish? No. Your neighbor lost money in IMA. We all laugh at him. Why he's invested there? We don't understand his condition. Where he has to put, somewhere he has to put for saving. And this fellow offered a lot of things. How he disbelieved, and where is the capacity, where is the knowledge base for an ordinary investor to check whether the income tax return filed by this company is wrong, whether he is filing his ROC, Registrar of Companies filings, the data is correct. Ordinary investor, they don't have any ways and means. Then who has to examine it and say it is correct? Who? On behalf of investors, who has to say? Huh? Who? SEBI. Then little more near to us. Media. Okay, media also will come only when the sensation comes. Till that time, they will also get sponsorship, advertisements. They are happy with that. Auditor. We'll come to that last. So they say, buyer beware. Buyer beware. No, you should have thought. That is the maxim. No. Buyer has to take precaution. Don't come with file case. Now the corporate scandals. Ramalankaraju Satyam, he got award for best corporate governance. Ethics in governance. Just 6 months before, he himself admitted that something around 7,000 crore scam was there in his company. Satyam signifies truth. And Sharada scam, Sharada they put it because it means Saraswati. No, just to tell people that we are all very holy people, religious people, spiritual people, please invest. So they can take all these things. And we understood what happened. Satyam investors lost money, shareholders. Who are the victims? Shareholders. 2,000 employees lost their job. 3,000 re-employed by the Satyam Mahindra, 2,000 lost the job. Thousands of shareholders lost their money. Bank people who lent money, they lost. And there is a paradox. The US investors of Satyam, they got compensated. But there was a victim compensation scheme there. At that point of time in India, there was a compensation scheme. The Shareholder Association filed a case in court, and court dismissed the petition saying that you are not entitled for any compensation. And they lost the money. Then corporate victimization of planet. Please read the quotation. All of our exalted technological progress, civilization for that matter, is comparable to an axe in the hand of a pathological criminal. What it says. What is this? Anyone? I'll give you a little more. Bhopal. Union Carbide. It is a continuous crime, my dear friends. I visited Bhopal. I visited the victims' families. I visited the hospitals there. I found it happened in 1984. Still the crime continues because the groundwater is contaminated with chemicals. Children born with defects even now. Continuous lung infections. And Indian government went for a settlement for $70 million. We settled. Some money has come. Part of small money has come to the victims. Some of the money has not been even distributed because they started hospitals instead of that. And where are the people? The Warren Anderson, the main person behind it, he never came back to India. Finally, he died elsewhere, abroad itself. And other directors, they were prosecuted. No, they were not prosecuted. Trial started in 1984. Supreme Court said it has to be done by the District Court of Bhopal. That has come back to Bhopal. 1984-85, the 84 incident happened. Now 2019, no prosecution has happened. The final award has not happened. They keep on going in appeals. These are all Bhopal. See the dead bodies. Not very clear here. Full of dead bodies. What is this? Endosulfan victims of Kasaragod district, Kerala. It's a public sector company, Plantation Corporation of India. To the cashew plantation, they put endosulfan. When most of the countries abroad, they have already banned endosulfan. See the result. Even now when you go to Kasaragod district, you visit the houses, you can see them. You can see the children. Last month, 2 months back, they went to Secretariat, Trivandrum. They went with the children. They sat on Satyagraha to get compensation. Is it a white-collar crime? Corporate crime? Whether it is a public sector or private sector doesn't matter. Organizational crime, white-collar crime. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana region right now, there's a place called Village of Widows. The mining sector, silica mining sector, they're affected by serious lung diseases, thousands of people. Husbands died. This is a continuous crime happening right now. Sterlite. 13 people got killed 2 months back when they were agitating against reopening of Sterlite. NDTV reporters went to the house-to-house survey. They did a house-to-house survey and they found every alternate house, they found unusually serious ailment, including cancer. Thermometer, mercury plant, mercury inside thermometer. There's a company, Unilever, US, started the company abroad. They said, no, mercury is toxic, highly toxic. We don't want here. So then they came to Tamil Nadu. They came to Madurai. And finally, because of agitation, they closed the company. But the infections, lung infections and various other ailments, cancer continues in this place. There is nobody to tell about it, to get comments. The company gone. Company said we will do some small welfare measures. They have not even cleaned up the area. See, the cleaning operations they have to do. Groundwater has to be cleared. They left without doing that. Another important thing we do is corporate subcontracting. We have our mobile phones, Samsung mobile phones, or electronic gadgets which we use. These are all manufactured by big companies. But actually, who is doing the work, All these electronic big MNC companies, they have subcontracted to small companies in China and other places where they use child labor. And these are all small firms. They don't comply with the labor laws. So exploit the children. They are exposed to toxic environment. And we all enjoy that, or the company enjoys that. They get huge profit. Because the company is not directly employing these people. So they don't have to follow the labor rules. Environmental rules. They won't follow. So most of the MNC companies, you name it, that company is there in this. I have the names. I don't want to tell you right now. There's no time right now for this. I'm going to come with a book very shortly. All the big companies, the MNC companies, we are getting awards. They are doing all these crime. The unholy nexus. What is unholy nexus? Why the white-collar crime is so popular? Why we cannot curb it? What is the reason? Unholy nexus. Everybody is involved? Okay, then? Politicians? Okay, politicians, one. There are three. Bureaucrats and criminals. When these three people, the powerful hands, join together, then it's very difficult. What is this? I went to Bhopal. I also got some data on this Vyapam scam, where medical seats were sold. Entrance exam, people were allowed to come and keep people in between those people who paid the money. So they will plant a person who knows the test, the answers. They'll sit in between, and the person this side and that side can copy it. In another case, the previous night question paper is leaked and given to them, and they'll come and write the exam. Vyapam scam had a lot of nexus with a lot of powerful people. And it's a rumor, I don't believe it, but the rumor is that everybody connected to that was found committed suicide. Whether it is a suicide or murder, we don't know. What is this? Adarsh scam, Adarsh housing complex. The land belongs to defense. And they said this is for the employees of the Kargil war heroes. In the name of Kargil war heroes, they constructed this illegally. And some of the owners, who are the owners, you know? Who are the owners? Vegetable vendors, auto rickshaw drivers, one peon. How? How they got the ownership? The Benami. This is a case where we won, my dear friends. Supreme Court was very harsh on this. And for many decades, many years, they tried to fight the case in different courts. Again, example of the unholy nexus. In March 2018, Indian Ministry of External Affairs stated that over 30 businessmen under investigation by various agencies had absconded to avoid facing prosecution before Indian courts. The answer came in the Parliament, Indian Parliament. 30 businessmen are gone abroad. Sandeshwara brothers, thousands of crores defrauded and went abroad. Sandeshwara brothers, they are very powerful people. Sandeshwara brothers, very powerful people. Please Google it today. Where are these brothers gone? From the state of, I think, Gujarat. Some news will not come in the media. Corporate bribery. I will give only one example. Can you imagine these two companies? How many of you heard about it? Very few people, I think. It has not been in the mainstream news. Can you imagine a company, Cognizant Technologies, paying bribe to Indian officials? Indian officials say, whether it is MNC or God's company, give me my money. If you want to construct building in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, you have to pay money. If you want to construct building in Pune, give us money. We don't care you are MNC or ISO, don't know what our standard, money has to be paid. So, Cognizant was in dilemma, how to pay money. This fellow is asking. We already started construction without permit. Now we have to pay it. They asked, L&T is constructing on behalf of the Indian company, L&T. They asked L&T, you pay. L&T said, no, we will not pay bribe. L&T said, then Cognizant said, if you don't pay, then we will not give you the next amount which is due to you for the work which you are doing. Finally, L&T had to pay the money. Now, the L&T name is not coming in the Securities and Exchange Commission of US, which took it seriously and removed these two top directors, CEO of the company, and one more gentleman, the legal person of the company, removed them, and $25 billion fine imposed from the company for paying bribe in Chennai, in Pune, and one more case in Tamil Nadu for fire services department, various department officials. Now, dear friends, the L&T name, it is not in the public domain. I might say that we have not paid it, so don't quote me anywhere. The L&T is there because SCC report, entire report I read, and that Indian construction firm, they never named this, and they named Cognizant. So this let it be a dispute ratio. Who paid it? But my question to you, my dear friends, no newspaper reported about it in the Economic Times and Business Standard. Some newspaper reported it, maybe somewhere inside, but nobody reported what? What? No. L&T, okay. L&T, Indian reported, they said L&T. But what is the thing they have not investigated? Who received the money? Who received the money? Everybody knows only the class of people. Who? The persons who got benefit out of it. Is it a white collar crime? It is. Because why? It will affect us. The cost of the company goes up. When the cost of the company for making this money goes up, what will happen? The price of the product goes up. The price of product, ultimately, the users, the softwares, whatever software we use, whatever product we use, the price will be reflecting that inflated price. Tax evasion, I'm not going to talk about that. Tax evasion definitely is a white collar crime. Then how does it matter to us? Large corporates evade taxes? Yes. When that much of money doesn't come to the exchequer, what government will do? Increase the tax. And most of us, middle class people, compulsory TDS is done. Tax will go up. Surcharge will go up. So again, that is also another area. Now, another area where white collar crime is rampant is this. Health sector. Victims of clinical trials. You go to hospital, your good doctor gives you some medicines, the doctor suggests a procedure. You never know that why that person is doing it. And this is done only on the poor, uneducated people. I have enough examples, my dear friends. I'll come with that later in my publication. Where poor people have been made victims of clinical trial without they being aware. And people died, and they will say, this is a natural cause of disease. I have evidences, I have clear information, data on it. HPV vaccine trial in India, there's a massive trial happened, AP, in India, Uganda, Vietnam and Peru. In India, we had it in Andhra Pradesh and Vadodara. In Andhra Pradesh, 4 girls died after taking this, getting vaccinated through HPV. It is something which is recorded. And finally, they concealed entire thing and they stopped the research. What I'm saying, these are examples where it has come to light. There are umpteen number of examples, trials have happened for any vaccine, hepatitis or whatever new vaccine, trials are happening day in and day out. And who are the victims? It has to be finally experiment on human beings. And it cannot be on educated, rich people, they will not do. They will do it on poor patients, poor people. And a lot of cases. Patents, pricing and patients' misery. Another thing. Patent. Why patent is then? If a company does a lot of research and come with a new medicine, a lot of expense involved, isn't it? So government say, okay, you can take patent. So nobody will copy it, you take the patent. If patented medicine, for a limited period, there is no price control. So they can increase the price like anything. If you see most of the very effective medicines for cancer or any other, I don't know very, very clearly. I have to see the data. Very important medicines are all came through laborious research by companies investing so much of money. So they got patent and the price gone up. And the ordinary people who cannot afford that money, they'll go for generic or whatever non-patent medicine. Its effectiveness may be less because these patented medicine are recent ones. There's no price control for patented medicine for limited period. Again, who are the victims? We, the patients, are the victims. Because doctors become brand ambassadors many times. They promote products. They promote certain businesses. This happen. Illegal organ trade happening, again collaboration with medical personnel. These are something happening in that sector. Corporate abuse of consumers. All of you have enough number of examples? I don't know how to explain that. Where whatever we buy, the product which is contaminated, or mineral water is contaminated. Mineral water which we buy from the shop contain pesticides. Center for Science and Environment has done a research and found almost all the leading brands of mineral water contain pesticide. Organic in the name, now the recent scam in the name of organic food. 4 times the rate. It is said that almost 80% of these so-called organic foods are not organic food. This again started in the US. One ship started with organic food, inorganic food, without mentioning anything, normal food product, started from one place in the United States. The ships traveled to another city. At that time, miraculously, entire stuff in the ship became organic. This happened there. Definitely happening in this country, where enforcement is very weak. Pet food scam. The pet food is a big industry. And it has been proved by the researchers the entire pet food is cannot be consumed even by the pets. It's coming out of waste which cannot even for the consumption of animals. Cartelization. Companies join together. The companies in the same trade join together and fix the price. That they fix the price and this should be the price for this product. They come together. Whether we have Competition Commission of India, whatever regulatory agencies are there, still all those things are bypassed by certain companies. Deceptive advertisements, a lot of advertisements happen. Very misleading advertisements. Again, it's a white-collar crime. And crime in other sectors, 2 different sectors, which I have not touched, which is very important in education sector and very much in religious sector. Very sensitive issue. I'm not going to tell you right now. It will be coming in my book. These 2 areas where large white-collar crimes are happening. Now, last 2 slides, just to conclude. Why white-collar crime? If you analyze the theories about white-collar crime, there's a very, very important fundamental theoretical concept by Donald Cressy. He says about fraud triangle. He says there are 3 reasons for people of highly educated, affluent people for doing the crime. One is a pressure to make more profit for the company. Every year we need more profit, hook on crook. You get it, hook or by hook or crook, you get back. Get the business deals done. Opportunity. The top CEO or top people, they have the opportunity the shareholders, they don't know anything about it. Audit committee is very weak. Auditors, they don't step into our office or the company, they don't see our documents. Whatever we give them, they'll put the seal. Audit party. So we have the opportunity. And then rationalization, that we are not doing any crime. We are only taking the company to competitive advantage. It's not a crime. They rationalize. Because ultimately, who is benefited? Shareholders are benefited. When we do such profit making. The fraud diamond by David and Hermerson, they say, having a right position or function in the organization which help them to use opportunity for fraud. I got high position, I'm having the control, then I can easily do the fraud. So that is why CEOs and CFOs, they are engaged in white-collar crime. Have the upper expertise. They have the expertise to do how to do it. They have the courage and confidence because nobody will suspect them. So white-collar crime, one advantage, nobody suspects them. So most of the people, they get awards for corporate governance excellence and all. Nobody suspects them. The ability to coerce others also to do fraudulent activity. Preparedness to face any associated stress. And having the capability to lie whenever required. Oh, that's a very good attribute. This is what they said. So they will engage into this type of crime. Now the last slide, how to prevent it. The last slide. Dear friends, if you take scams happened across the globe, from my research I can tell you, 90% of scam which has happened is because of audit failure. Every company has to be audited by a chartered accountant, statutory auditor, or a firm of chartered accountants. They should go through every transaction or random transactions and say that the accounts of the company they are true and correct in all respects. All accompanying statements are correct. All dealings are correct. They put the seal. If scams have happened in all these companies, that means there was no due diligence and auditors have not done their role properly. Maybe that may be the reason that in US SOX Act, Sarbanes-Oxley Act has been formed, and India recently we have made a new authority. You know what is authority? New government has created an authority to oversee these things, auditing. National Financial Reporting Authority. It has been established by the Act of Parliament. Now they have started advertising people to fill the vacancies. So audit failure is one important thing because auditors are paid by whom? Same company. So why should I qualify the statement? Why should I object anything the company does? Because I want extension of contract. I need money. So auditors give a blind eye. Second thing, auditors also give consultancy, which is prohibited. They give consultancy also. Auditors cannot give consultancy. They cannot take consultancy charge. Like Enron, Enron got busted and audited by Anderson with 100 years of reputation of honesty. Anderson received $27 million as non-audit fee and $25 million as audit fee. That means they got non-audit fee $25 million, which they are not supposed to do. And finally, what happened to Enron, all of us know. Corporate governance failure. We have strict corporate governance norms. Companies are not following that. Regulatory capture. The regulations are in place. Moment the regulation comes, what will happen? They try to avoid that. There's a loophole comes. And there's a gap between this regulation and next regulation. By the time exit regulation will become ineffective. Legal loopholes lacks enforcement to examine the corporate frauds. Frauds only after it comes, then only we start taking action. Well, only after CEOs went out of the country, then we will start taking action. There is no quick trial is not there. And how many people are punished? Initially we saw that first slide where one photograph pickpocketing person. If he is caught, he is in the lockup. The other fellow, the trial goes on. It will be crores of money. The trial goes on. The punishment is less. And along with all these things, we need to have an ethical environment. Ethics committee. People should understand the importance of ethics in governance, in corporate governance. Unless these things come, we cannot have a solution. Now, my dear friends, please, we understood that corporate crime, white-collar crime, impacts each one of us. We are the victims, ultimate victims of all these crimes. Unless and until we take action, we curb this, we will continue to be victims. With this, I stop. Thank you so much for listening. And these are my contacts. In case you would like to have any interaction, you're all welcome. Thank you so much. Now, any quick questions? Floor is open. Because the topic is corporate criminality. Judiciary has to be out of corporate. Pardon? That's the question. I don't know. I also want to invest somewhere. That's the problem now. Answer is this. We have to have robust investment schemes where there is regulation, where there is safety for our money. All these Ponzi schemes should be banned so that people invest. The mutual fund should be under regulation. In mutual fund schemes, there should be strict regulation on how the mutual funds work, insurance funds work, schemes work. So finally, then last, why these scams happened? Because there is an audit failure, there is enforcement failure. Unless we make it strong, we lose money. And again, we'll go to this IMA or whoever comes with some 15% interest. We'll Pardon? Yeah, we don't know. Nobody knows. Because what happened? It is not in public domain. IMA, only when that fellow went abroad or some vanished, people came to know. No information. Because media will not project. Because they give a lot of advertisements. That's revenue for the media. Why media is not aware of, even maybe may not be even aware.
Only government must control the
Yeah.
cannot.
That is what I said. Common people, they are not aware. They don't have the capacity to understand these things. Yes. Yes, that is what we see in the newspapers, that there are people involved, they have taken money in advance itself. You have seen in the IMA case. Yes? Ah. Ah. Okay. No, bureaucracy may be indirectly involved. You are right. But if you see the shareholding, initial share, what you call gathering, or how much money shares collected. Earlier, there were a lot of Benami investments were coming as the initial shareholdings. Now, because of the income tax department has made it very strict that the capacity, identity, and genuineness of the payer or of the investor should be available. That means his PAN number, his name, address, all those should be transparent. But as you said, maybe earlier days, there were a lot of Medami funds were coming into the companies. Now it has become very less, because shares have to be invested only through notified, through agencies where they have to give KYC. So KYC norms have been strictly followed now. So that is very less now. But shell companies are there. That is why, the government has identified many shell companies and cancelled the registrations of shell companies. So that is happening. So this money is diverted through shell companies and then diverted abroad. That's all. Mutual funds, that's what I said. Mutual funds, the problem is that where do they invest? The honesty and the ethics of the people who invest, taking the investment decisions. There lies the problem. So there should be strong control. In fact, SEBI is very much active in this. I won't say that SEBI is very inactive. SEBI is not doing anything. I'm not saying that. But the criminals, the mind operates much faster, in a very intelligent way. Before SEBI comes to know a red flag, already damage has come. So when the red flag comes, SEBI monitors all the transactions. The penny stock scam happening in the South India. We are, day in and day out, we are seeing penny stock scam. What is penny stock scam? We invest 1,000 rupees now, and within years, how much it will become? 5 crore and all those things. And when you look at the company no address. Company balance sheet deficit, no trading, no manufacturing activity, no sales. Then how that much money has been shown as generated? Because they create lot of purchase and sales. The stock market, maybe you are investing in shares. I am a person who is not very much supporting the philosophy and sociology and psychology of stock markets. Because I find there is more than economics, something else is there in stock market. Why something happening somewhere, then thousands of crores, thousands of points, it will fall, it will increase. How does it matter? Do you think today something is happening, the production comes down? A lot of things are happening there. So why? So artificially sales and purchases are done and the price is jacked up. All the penny stock. So when we call the taxpayers and ask them, see, how did you invest this? How do you know about this? No, so some broker came. He told me. So I don't know the person who has invested. But I got a lot of profit. This profit, how the profit is come? This I invested 10,000 rupees, I got 20 lakhs. How they got the money? I invested 10,000, I got 20 lakhs. So I gave 19 lakh, 90,000 plus commission to the broker in Bada Mahatma Gandhi. Currency notes. So now you ask the income tax office, they will fight with the income tax officer. You prove I have given money in cash. Where's the evidence for us? So we go by probability. We say it is not probable. We pass an order saying that no, we will not accept it. It is humanly impossible. A company who has not done any trading, any manufacturing activity, any business activity, share cannot go up 5,000 times. We won't believe it. We say, no, we won't accept it. It goes to income tax appellate tribunal or higher forums, and higher forums, in their wisdom, they will say, where is the evidence that assessee has given cash? Whether income tax department has got any material? And assessee, even if that company has not traded, assessee is innocent. Some broker might have approached him. So assessee, he is new to stock market. He thinks stock market is something very great. People make money out of stock market. So he thought it's genuine funds, 20 lakhs he got. How do you save that case? This is what's happening in most of the share market, mutual funds and all. Pardon? The solution would be, that is what we are going, the digital transactions. No cash can be deposited. Ultimately, this is going through cash. Moment we plug all these things, and against SEBI they are activated now. This type of red flags, the signal they get when they analyze the transactions. Some companies, why it is trading so fast? It's artificial trading. Immediately they block that trading of that shares. So you ask me the question, how it can be blocked? This way. Regulator has to put in place a system where when they find unusual trading in one script, it is not probable. Match it with his balance sheet, his activity, its ROC filing. Data is there. Match it. If there is a mismatch, yes, that is real-time data. In Income Tax Department, we have something called Project Insight, where we collect data from all sources and we match it. We are going to a system where you are going to file pre-filling of income tax return, where you won't even file income tax return. You won't even fill up income tax return. Because when you open your PAN number, the income tax return will be already filled. Oh, you got this much of money from this much of money from this, or everything will be already there. You have to just put signature. This is going to happen very soon now. Already it is announced by Narasimharaja Madam. FM has already announced the pre-filling we are going to start now. So these are the ways where we can curb it. Whether Jet Airways issue is it a corporate crime or not, it has to be investigated. Now, according to, I cannot make a point right now, public point, but I can say an academic point of view where losses cannot come on a single day. This type of big losses come, it's accumulated losses. When do you see a signal that we are going to incur losses? It is a duty of the auditors and internal fund managers, internal control team to examine why are we going in the right direction. If we take huge loans like this to fund our company, we will incur more losses. Our projection shows that we will incur loss. Then should we invest in new aircrafts? Should we reduce our operation? Should we reduce our loans so that they will reduce the risk of getting further damage? So I think it is a step-by-step process. They were just playing with the thing that government will bail out. If the government can bail out other companies, the government can reduce the waive of the loans, other companies, why not this also? People start taking risk. That's why government, even if they want to help somebody, it will become a precedence. And people just follow that, the government has already written off this much of NPS. So this also will get written off. Let us take risk. Because after all, the fund is not his. Money is whose? Shareholders' money, OPM, other people's money. Why should I bother?
Is there any future thought to restrict the loans given to big companies in future? Because loans have been given to big companies with no securities. Will it have a...
No, you might have seen the newspapers also. Government of India has given strict guidelines now. Without proper collateral security, loans cannot be given to any companies. So that lending norms have been made very strict. Now most of the many companies are also struggling because genuine companies are also struggling because they don't have, especially startup companies, they don't have any asset to give us a collateral also. So because of that, they are also struggling. But then, we have seen the last budget where FM, Finance Minister, has announced a lot of schemes for startups also. So when we give very stringent lending norms across the sector, there are some sectors like startups will get adversely affected because they don't have any asset to give us collateral. That will be taken care of by government. At the same time, government has put in place a lot of schemes, a lot of guidelines and rules so that banks will not flout the what they call lending norms. But still, there may be people who are more intelligent than the government. That is usually the thing. We have to wait for the next set of rules to plug that loophole.
Sir, I have last question. Company has become a loss. Why he has not gone outside India?
Why Anil Ambani has not gone? Anybody can answer that here? He must be having a bigger plan, he says.
Brother also, sir.
Okay, that I don't have any answer. I have to research. Thank you. Balaji.
Sir, mutual funds, whatever you are talking is about all the equity funds.
Yes.
There are where we have debt funds, where it's a liquid fund, where all the funds have been invested by the fund managers in the government securities or government bonds. How far is our money safe with respect to the government?
Not fully in government securities. May not be. If it is 100% government securities, my dear friends, which is the best fund in government? Can you tell me? Especially those who are retired, they will know. Post office and then one more? LIC, I doubt. Government bonds, okay. One thing which cannot be even attached by any authority. Public Provident Fund. The highest interest rate. Whether anybody lost money in Public Provident Fund? Okay, anybody lost money in any pension fund? Anybody lost any money in debt securities or government? Government gives money, reasonable money. But not 4%, 5%, but anything above 7.5% and 7%, 7.5% above. So that anyway, I think that part can be assured. That can be assured. Reasonably assured, but then we don't know the future. So government securities are with very strict regulations of RBI. So there may not be much problem. As of now, this is a robust economy. Government of India will not vanish with anybody's funds. And we have the history where Government of India by itself has not cheated people on any of their funds, any of the funds collected from them. No, it is always returned. No?
Can
Pension fund, national pension scheme, NPS scheme. Again, there is only limited. Post office schemes, post office saving, national NSC, national savings certificate. Of course, it is taxable. Only PPF is not taxable. Public Provident Fund is not taxable. So I think it is 15 years PPF. Maybe we have to tell our... that's what I feel. We need a ministry for senior citizens. We need a ministry for senior citizens, exclusively for them. Where a lot of all these welfare schemes should come. And senior citizens are the biggest victims, in fact. But there is a chapter on that in my this thing, where the biggest victims of all these white-collar crimes. IL&FS is a very big scam. Yes, where again unholy nexus. No, that let me not tell you about that. I'm just collecting information on that. The IL&FS is an ongoing inquiry. Inquiry is still going on. The report has not yet come. IL&FS inquiry is still on. And still there is one side of the argument saying that everything was fine in IL&FS. There's another side of argument, everything was wrong in IL&FS. Let they investigate. At least the trial. I'm not telling about court orders or anything. The basic investigation should be completed. And their unholy nexus is very much. A lot of retired bureaucrats are directors and senior employees of IL&FS.
Sir, you have given a very gloomy picture of the world. Actually, an ordinary person is more interested in food, water, health, etc. At least in these sectors, whether you expect any good solution from the coming governments, so that we will have a perfect watchdog. I think in your previous lecture, who will watch the watchdog? At least is there any hope that whether we will get the perfect watchdog someday in future?
See, two revolutionary things has happened in this country. One is Right to Information Act. Every citizen can ask for the information from any government department. Second part, if it is a private this thing, Consumer Protection Act, which is very powerful. Now, every year we expand this Consumer Protection Act, bring more products into that. Now, number of consumer courts have gone up. If you see, a lot of landmark decisions have come from the consumer courts. We don't have to spend so much of money going to consumer court because free legal aid clinics in every city. Even Bengaluru we have. There are lawyers who are working freely in the consumer courts to take up the issue. Now, as you said, I will not say that there is solution for all these problems. No, government have to be acting this very seriously. At the same, our member of parliaments, through member of parliaments, we have to raise these concerns to the government. And thirdly, we also have to take the law into our hands, like we have to file cases in the court. And many companies in these sectors had to finally surrender before the consumers when they file cases. But the problem here is court decides only on case-to-case basis. If you are cheated, he also got cheated. He did not go to court. He went to court. And court will give judgment only for him. He has to file another case quoting this judgment for this. So government has to step in between, saying that in all those cases where there is a grievance, they can file here, we will ensure justice. So there should be a collaboration, coordination between judiciary as well as the government in these things. Things are a little complex. It's not very easy.
Sir, I feel judiciary to be clear. And everything will come proper right.
Exactly. He is videoing and I don't want to be punished for contempt of court.
What is the take-home message from your side? Because when we hear this, we are going back.
The first thing is, be aware that these are happening. Why did I tell about Bitcoin? Why did I tell about mutual funds? Why did I tell about all these latest crime which has happened in the other countries? Which it is not still a major crime. We have not seen those crimes. Why did I tell that? Please be aware of this chain reaction. When you talk about whatever blockchain or whatever things, there is chain of crimes which are happening. We need to be aware. Anyone in this recession economy days, anyone promises more than 8% interest, please understand with your common sense, it is deception.
Nobody can get a return when they do the business that much to give you return of 8%. So anybody common sense. Somebody says 60,000 rupees you pay for a magnetic mattress which will cure all your diseases. Do you think you should go for it? When the IMA person promises so much of goodies, you need to have the wisdom to understand. No, it is not possible. When he says, I'll give you a card, go to the supermarket, you get discount there. With this, you get that. And you get another 10 people, we'll give you this much of commission. We have enough number of Ponzi scheme examples. Learn from those crimes. And so that I will not do it. So these are the examples which I would like to tell you, that we need to have common sense, we need to have interaction. Now, as Dr. Naga said, I would like to tell you that information have to be disseminated to the public. That is why we say that disclosure should be very clear and transparent. A company comes with a public issue. The public issue should be very clear that what are the risks, rather than just saying that this is subject to market risk and all. So, individual investor cannot read the audit report. Again, I come back to the same point, the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Watchdog. Audit failure. If the auditor has done his duty properly for last 3 years of that scammed company, he would have raised red flags. Please don't invest in this company. This company, all the aircrafts are in operation, but we don't have the profits. Next 10 years, our airline company will not make any profit. Please don't invest in shares in this company. When the airline company approached the bank for a loan, the auditor should tell very clearly that don't give loan to this airline company. You are not going to get return. This is the takeaway. You see the last slide, which I started with, where the problem. Because I already admitted, individuals, we don't have that information. But there are certain authority which have to do it. The public outcry should come to make our institutions strong, regulatory institutions strong. How honest, ethical people in our regulatory institutions. Let us have honest chartered accountants and auditors. Instead of getting auditors paying money from the company, let us have a national audit fund where money is paid from that fund. And they should not be worried about Infosys paying money. I can raise red flag about Infosys because I get paid for my audit from the national audit fund. These are the things which have to come. These are the suggestions which I don't want to put, because I cannot explain everything in that slide. These are the things which we have to do. Yes, that is what I said. First, exactly. Yes. 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 Exactly. You are right. Yes. They don't know. That is why I said in the slide, the first point was audit failure. What are the second slide? What's the second point? Bullet point? Corporate governance failure. Corporate governance failure is the failure of the director. And when you talk about the failure of director, we talk about independent director's failure. Who's independent director? Independent. He's not part of the company. But half of the independent directors, they don't have any idea about the company. They'll go once in a year or once in 6 months. They collect the sitting fee, enjoy the guest house, and come back. So, Companies Act has made some amendment last year. They have made independent directors also responsible. My dear friends, that's also a good thing now. So, they will also be made responsible for this. Now, most of the auditors are also unable, they are scared to sign the documents. Independent directors, people don't want to become independent directors because of all these stringent rules. Which one? So auditing has two aspects. One is the financial auditing. For the first one is technical auditing. It has been the internal auditing. Internal auditing along with the technical audit team. That they have to do it. Last question.
News item
crores and 3,500 crores by very big companies. After having run the institution for 70 years, I know how difficult it is to collect public money. What promotes these big companies to pay for political
Very. You are putting me into trouble. Ramu, I know. I was just waiting for some question like this from Ramu. How many of you heard about electoral trust? And how many of you got the information that within 2 months, our leading political parties received anonymous donations? When I say anonymous donation, public don't know about the donation. State Bank of India knows. Crores of money have come to political parties just before elections. Questions are over, na? Switch off the video. So crores of money have come to political parties just before elections, and all of you voted in this election. Most of you voted for the election, and you common people are not aware of it. Political parties received crores of amount from corporate houses just before elections through an electoral bond, which is perfectly legal. Don't ask me which political party received. Thank you.
They want one more sitting, sir. You are sitting.
Thank you. After my book is published, we have some good data.
Our system focus, it's only to get hold, only the petty criminals. System cannot touch few people as they are within the protected political boundaries. So starting from the incidents of Bhopal gas tragedy, of Union Carbide Company to today's scams like Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksi, Nirav Modi, and our own Karnataka scam like IMA. So we have seen the incidents of these fraudulent practices by corporate criminals in the history of our Indian economy. And it comes to me also, being a teacher, why people are not questioning these corporate criminals. Because we used to get the power only once in 5 years and we become powerless. And powerless people can't question powerful people. So that's why we can't question them. And in the mask of the social justice, social service and all, the IMA did the same thing. So we are giving sponsorship to schools, we are giving sponsorship to hospitals and all, and we are taking care of this park, this hospital, this children and all. So they are doing this within the mask of this corporate governance and social service. They are cheating the people, and we have lack of financial literacy. We say financial literacy in India, it's more than 75%, but the study says the financial literacy in India, it's only 3.5 to 4%. We don't know because our financial decisions are dependent on others, our parents, friends, our colleagues, or by advertisements also. And sir was talking about shell companies. As of 2019 Jan, around 14,000 shell companies in India that stuck off by the government of India. After demonetization, around 3,000 companies were found, and in 2019, around 14,000 shell companies were found in India. And through these shell companies only, they were doing fraudulent trade practices. And the systems came to our country like the Cadbury Committee recommendation, or maybe Naresh Chandra Committee of India or Narayan Murthy Committee to implement corporate governance policies in India. We have policies in India, but which cannot be implemented at all, because we say ethics is not part of business. So we are in 1900, we are in 19th century. Business is for profiteering. We are in the concept of profit maximization rather than wealth maximization. So we are not into that. So few people, few CEOs, chairperson, the promoters, they are saying like we are transferring this percentage of our shares for social service and all. Again, there is a hidden agenda before everything. So recently, one of the topmost companies of India, the promoter, he has 71% share. So he told around 50-60% of his share will be transferred for social justice, social services. Again, there is a hidden agenda for everything. So we can't trust businessmen. So Vyaparam Droha Chintanam. So we can't say. So they'll serve the society. And the concept of service, it's only for the few people. And you being an educationist also, I say education is also a fraudulent practice nowadays. It becomes much more commercial. So even the concept, the laws like the fugitive offenders, even to prosecute them, the process is going on, immediately they'll flew to other country, particularly to Britain, because they'll get some protection. So Vijay Mallya and all, it becomes a much more expensive trial for our country. And directly and indirectly, they are cheating our country. And we are busy in watching newspaper, in watching television set, watching through television sets. ಯಾರೋ ಸರ ಕದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದಾರಂತೆ, ಯಾರೋ ಪಿಕ್ ಪಾಕೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಂತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಗಮನ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗದು ಗೊತ್ತೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಅಬೌವ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್, and very less commitment towards corporate governance by Indian companies may be responsible for all these things, and maybe individual ethics may console and resolve all these issues. So thank you, Dr. Sibichen Mathew, sir. Thanks for your insights, elaborate discussions, as well as your contribution towards research. He's not only a bureaucrat, he is a researcher as well as he looked like an educationalist also. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are grateful to have you, sir.